singing and her daughter-in-law's gardening took up time that should, she considered, have been spent with her. She felt entitled to their time, Miss Daly's because she paid for it, and Ellen's because as Avery's wife she had a duty to Avery's mother. "But I'm an old woman," said Mrs. North to her son. She said it bitterly because she didn't like being old. "I suppose I can't expect Ellen to spend more time with me than she can help." "Ellen's always busy, Mother," defended Avery. "You know day women have it all their own way these days. We simply can't get anyone to come so far out of the town in the afternoon, so Ellen always has to cook the dinner herself. She does an immense amount of gardening. William Parkes is old. He has as much as he can do with the kitchen garden and with looking after the mare when Anne's at school. You should turn Parkes out of that cottage and get someone more competent then. Why you keep a horse when Anne can only ride it for about 14 weeks out of the year, Avery, I simply cannot understand. It would be far better to hire." She was off at a tangent, forgetting her complaint that Ellen didn't spend time with her because she was old. It was not because she was old. At Somerton Manor, a country hotel where Ellen had taken the children for holidays during the war, was a Mrs. Brockington who was old too, but there was no one with whom Ellen would rather have spent more time. Old Mrs. North didn't really want Ellen's kind of company. She wanted something Ellen could not supply, and Ellen didn't even know what it was. She only felt they didn't get on very well, which was a pity because they both loved Avery. She considered herself very much to blame because she forgot about her mother-in-law for reprehensibly long periods, sometimes as much as 3 days together, and then remembered her with a sense of shock. "Oh dear, I haven't rung up. When did I go last?" she had to say to herself, and would throw down her gardening tools, take off her gumboots, do her hands, her hair, change into a coat and skirt, get her car out and go and sit with her mother-in-law, and was able to go to bed that night with a sense of relief that she wouldn't have to go again for a day or two. All the same, she was ashamed. This remembering of old Mrs. North occurred to her suddenly one evening in June as she was bringing Avery up from the station in her car, because his was under repair. "Your mother!" she exclaimed. "What about her?" said Avery. "Do let's go and see her for 5 minutes. I've only been once this week, and you haven't been at all." Avery grumbled. It had been hot in London. He wanted to get home, he said. "I know, darling, and I'm anxious about my oven, but just for 1 minute," she persuaded. She drove in at the gates, behind which stood the late Victorian house with its turrets and brick battlements, the windows of its mostly unused rooms glittering with the special plate glass the late George North had insisted upon. Old Mrs. North was sitting on the sofa in the drawing-room, some battered schoolbooks beside her, and behind her on the wall a collection of miniatures of her husband, herself, and her children in infancy. The whole family looked chronically ill on Ivory. "Good afternoon, strangers," said the old lady caustically. "I know, Mother," said Ellen, kissing her. "But the days get past me so fast. My life seems to be one long scramble." "Yes, my dear, I've heard you say so before. Are you going to sit down?" "No, I hadn't expected it. I suppose you want to get home. Well, it's only natural. Go along, both of you. I'm very well and everything's all right. Thank you for coming. Goodbye." Avery laughed, but it wouldn't have done for Ellen to. Besides, she didn't feel like laughing. She felt remorseful. Now they were there, she thought they ought to stay a little and made while talking for a chair. But Avery took her firmly by the arm and piloted her to the drawing-room door. When they reached it, old Mrs. North brought them to a halt. "I've answered an advertisement," she said. They turned. "An advertisement? In yesterday's Times?" She held out the folded newspaper to her son. Round his shoulder Ellen read at the marked place.